my channel. This video is about what if Goku was in Day Live. Now let's start the video.
俺が守ってやるってばよ。別にあんたに守ってもらわなくても結構。
Oh yeah, take a number. I was lightning before the thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder.
Goku was finally able to defeat the one-star dragon, Omega Shenron, with the Spirit Bomb. That was made with all the energy in the universe, and by doing so the Dragon Balls were no longer impure. Soon after, the dragon god Shenlong appeared without being called, leaving everyone very confused. What does this mean? If we haven't called Shenlong, said Bulma puzzled. Besides, the sky hasn't darkened. It's true, something never happened, said Gohan surprised. Stand up Goku, said Shenlong, making his eyes shine. At that moment Goku's wounds healed. Goku, I'm glad you're okay. Kai said between tears as he hugged Goku, who had just gotten up. Hello, said Goku as happy as always. How good is Shenlong? I hope you understood the appearance of the evil dragon, Shenlong said, waiting for the Saiyan's answer. Yes, said Goku. And I suppose you also know why this world and the other world were connected, and all the dead were resurrected. The dragon continued speaking. Yes, it's because the Dragon Balls began to deteriorate, right? The Saiyan answered again. Everything indicates that you humans have depended a lot on the spheres. I cannot allow you to continue using them for your convenience, said the annoyed dragon god. Upon hearing the dragon's tone, everyone realized that he was going to do something. What? Bulma said in bewilderment. I'm going to disappear the Dragon Balls, and I'll also leave, Shenlong said, making everyone realize what he was going to do. Okay Shenlong, I just ask you one last wish, Goku asked the dragon. So tell me, which one is it? Many innocent people died because of the Dragon Balls, which are unknown to everyone. So I ask you to resurrect all those people who had nothing to do with this, in this case. The earth suffered great damage, so I also ask you to restore it, said the Saiyan. Finishing saying his wishes while everyone waited the dragon's response. Okay, as you say, this will be the last wish, Shenlong said. At that moment the eyes of the dragon god lit up, and all those who were killed from the Super 17 incident to those who died by the evil dragons were revived. At the same time the earth returned to normal. And a familiar voice was heard. Pan turned and saw his robot friend, Jiru, said Pan between tears while he hugged him with emotion. Thank you very much Shenlong, Goku said with a smile. I have fulfilled your wish, it's time to go, Goku said the dragon, leaving everyone surprised. Are we leaving so soon? Goku asked, excited because before killing a star, he had let him live in exchange for one thing. Come up Goku, said Shenlong, lowering his head. Well, I have to go, said Goku, climbing to the head of the dragon god, but before they left Vegeta approached them both. Kakarot, wait, are you going to train? Asked a prince of the Saiyans. However, Vegeta realized what was really happening. Kakarot, don't tell me that he couldn't finish speaking because his rival had interrupted him with SSHH. See you later, Vegeta, he said without wanting to say the details, because if he did, he would have left everyone devastated. Goodbye everyone was the last thing he said to his friends and family while he walked away with Shenlong. Wait Goku, at least tell me where you're going, Kai shouted as she watched her husband leave. Again, and I wanted to prepare a banquet for her triumph. Chichi sighed in disappointment. You'll see that he'll come back, you know how he is when he's hungry, said his son. Goten, by the way mom, tell us, what are you going to cook? I will prepare roasted salamanders from the mountain paths, replied her mother. Ah, great, that's my favorite food, Goten said, very excited. Well, I guess it's time to go home, Bulma said. Yes friends, I'm leaving too, said Uuk, flying to go to his home located on the islands. Let's go home mom, so you can make us that banquet, said Goku's second son, who was carrying his mother in the bridal form. We'll go too, said Videl, who was walking with the others. Dad, do you want to go with us? Yes, daughter, I'll be there, replied the world champion. Trunks was about to join them, but he noticed that Pan was standing looking where her grandpa had gone. Is something wrong, Pan? Trunks asked. Hey Trunks, is it true that the Dragon Balls are going to disappear forever? Pan asked sadly. Surely it's not completely true, maybe he said that so that we learn to take better care of ourselves. And when he sees it, surely the Dragon Balls will appear again, said Vegeta's son. Almost certainly. Yes, we'll do that, agreed Pan happily. Well, it's time to go, and then she took flight. Wait Trunks, but before she followed him she saw that her grandpa's dogi was lying on the ground, and therefore she picked it up. How strange, I'm sure my grandpa was wearing when he left, she said, confused. It is better that you keep it with care, said Prince Vegeta. What? She looked confused at Vegeta, and he didn't say anything and took flight. Pan had tears in her eyes as she saw Goku's suit. Grandpa was the last thing Pan said before flying away with Goku and Shenlong. Both of them were flying above the clouds. Old Goku was lying on Shenlong's head. Hey Shenlong, I'd like to visit some places, is it possible? Goku asked Shenlong. Okay, it's the least I can do before we go. And where are we going, Shenlong? Goku asked curiously. We will go somewhere in another universe so that you can be the new protector of the protector of a planet. That sounds fantastic, so I can fight strong guys, Goku said excitedly. That's right, and you will take care of the spheres as we had agreed, Shenlong said. Again, remembering the deal for the gift of immortality. Yeah, whatever. After that Goku said goodbye to his remaining friends. After that Goku and Shenlong disappeared from this universe to go to another. Years later, Tengu City, you could see a cute 14-year-old red-haired girl with two big tails and red eyes wearing a school uniform who was jumping and dancing on top of her older brother's bed to wake him up. Wake up Ani-chan, wake up Ani-chan, Katori said. The Tori-chan said Goku as he covered himself with the sheets to sleep a little. More. What's wrong, Ani-chan, Katori asked happily. Nothing, just get off, said Goku, trying to sleep a little more because of yesterday's training, since he had stayed up very late training. After that, Katori jumped up to kick her brother in the stomach, who quickly jumped out of bed to avoid getting hit like last time. Katori, you didn't have to do that, Goku said as he yawned. Katori, come closer, Goku said with a smile. At that moment, Katori approached and helplessly began to be tortured by the tickling that Goku was doing to her, who wouldn't let her go, but in an oversight of Goku, Katori managed to escape down the stairs and then go to the living room. After Katori got down from Goku, she got ready to go to school and went down to make breakfast, and when she got there she could see that her pretty sister was hiding behind her at table. I'm scared, Ani-chan's tickling is scary, Katori said as she trembled. You, shouted Goku, who had stood next to Katori to scare her. Katori could only get up suddenly and then back up until she collided with a wall behind her. Calm down, I'm not going to do anything to you, Goku said with a smile. Oh. Ani-chan, Katori said a bit calmer. Calm down, Goku said, raising her hand in a smile. After that, Katori just sighed in relief. Another spacequake occurred today. Fortunately, no injuries or deaths have been reported. It was heard from T. Goku was always curious about spacequakes, since whenever they appeared he could feel a high that was superior to that of humans. While Katori was watching the news, Goku was preparing breakfast. Isn't this happening very often? Goku asked. Yep, Katori replied. It's a little faster than we anticipated, Katori whispered so Goku wouldn't hear her. After that, they both sat down to eat. Is there something special you want for lunch? Goku asked while he ate. The children's menu, Katori said very excitedly. Bego Aho is one of the gesturing jamiliages, Goku said with his mouth full, although Katori understood him. What? Ani-chan, I'm asking you, please, Katori begged. Okay, after all, we haven't had lunch outside the house for a long time. After finishing breakfast, the two brothers left the house and arrived at the family restaurant, where they were going to meet after school. Then, we'll meet here after school, okay? Katori said. Yep, answered the Saiyan, very animated. It's an absolute promise, even if the restaurant is taken over by Paris, you must come. Katori said as she and Goku crossed their little fingers, showing that it was a promise. Even if a spacequake occurs, she said as she went to her school, and Goku waved goodbye with a big smile. Good morning, ITSUKA said a male voice as she grabbed Goku's hand. Good morning, Tanamachi, said Goku as he turned to see his best friend from this universe. Tanamachi is a teenager with spiky black hair and dark gray eyes. I'm happy to see you so well, at the beginning of the new period, said Tanamachi. While in the distance a girl with short white hair and blue eyes could be seen, who was hiding behind a light pole that stared at Goku and then ran away. At school, it's a coincidence though, ITSUKA, that we are both in the same class. It seems that our destinies are intertwined, Tanamachi said as he combed her hair back with his hand. ITSUKA Goku, a female voice was heard that belonged to the same girl who was spying on Goku a while ago. Me? Goku asked innocently and she nodded. How do you know my name? Don't you remember me? Asked the girl. Ah, yes, you are the one who is always following me and sees me from outside my house. Could you tell me your name? Goku said that he had remembered. Well, thanks for noticing me. My name is Tabiichi Origami, the girl said as she sat next to the same. And when Tanamachi was going to ask Goku how they knew each other, he was interrupted by the teacher. Good morning, I will be her teacher this year. My name is Tami Akaman, said the teacher. After the classes passed, it was time for lunch and also to go. At that moment, Tanamachi approaches Goku. ITSUKA, do you want us to go together? I asked Goku. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have lunch with Katori, answered Goku, who was preparing to leave. Suddenly an alarm went off saying, this is not a drill, a spacequake. The spacequake alert, said Goku. We must evacuate, said Goku, even though it wasn't necessary for him, and before going to a shelter he saw that Tabiichi left the room in another direction. In the shelter there were several students entering the shelter calmly except for one person. Akaman sensei was the only one who was not calm. Don't push each other, keep calm and move forward, said Tami, anguished. Sensei, the only one who needs to calm down is you, Tanamachi said calmly. You're right, she said, stammering. Katori, did he manage to evacuate? He asked himself while he concentrated to find Katori's Kai, that if she was in the family restaurant, but there was something strange. She was in the restaurant but several meters in the air. But Goku didn't care about that, and he ran to the family restaurant to find out what was appearing at the time of the earthquake. Near the restaurant, Goku was still running there when suddenly a light appeared in front of him, and then a gigantic sphere of dark purple color appeared, causing an explosion. That made Goku go back, covering his eyes at the moment of opening them as wide as possible. What was around him was destroyed, and he could feel a quite strong Kai, and he went to him. Seeing a beautiful young woman, she wears a dress with a black, cream and pink color, and a purple and cream set of silver armor that adorns her legs, shoulders and waist. The dress is open at the back and consists of a black corset that exposes some of her breasts and a two-layered knee-length skirt that has a pink to white gradient. Her hair is up, wearing a butterfly-shaped hair accessory and a pair of gloves, and she wears a pair of armored boots and exudes a purple aura. So she's the Kai I've always felt when earthquakes appear, Goku thought as he looked at the beautiful girl. After thinking that, the girl took out a sword and then jumped and waved it towards Goku. but remained motionless knowing that the attack was going to happen next to her. "You too," said the girl with a menacing look, "have you also come to kill me?" Goku widened his eyes at what the girl said, who kept pointing her sword at him. Goku, confused, took a step back but tripped and fell backwards. "You came to kill me, right?" she said with a cold look while pointing her sword at Goku, and without him being able to answer she continued talking. "Then, let me finish you off quickly." Meanwhile, in an unknown place, what happened to the cameras? "My Oni-chan could be in danger," said a mysterious girl. "We are working on that, Commander," a man answered. "Whatever, do it faster," she yelled. "She's very worried. I hope you're okay, Oni-chan." "Hey, wait, why would I do something like that?" he asked the girl fearlessly. "I won't kill you, besides, I don't even know you," Goku said innocently. Hearing that, the girl frowned the frown, and Goku stood up. "Don't lie to me, you have come to kill me like mechanical people," she yelled at him. The girl, blinded by her anger, did not let the black-haired man respond, and quickly waved her sword several times, creating waves of energy. The black-haired smiled and the waves passed through him as if he were a ghost, leaving her very surprised since she could not believe that his attack would go through him like that without taking any damage. She realized that the long-range attack wouldn't work on him, so she decided to physically attack him with her sword. She tried to cut him in half, but to no avail. Blocked with just one finger, she was completely shocked at what he saw. He couldn't believe it. A human, without effort, blocked his sword that was capable of cutting solid metal. Impossible. No one can block Sandalphon with a mere finger. What is he? She thought, as she kept hitting him at blinding speed, but kept getting blocked. She continued to block the sword, but got bored and decided to catch it with the palm of her hand, so she couldn't move it. She panted exhausted as Goku looked into her eyes. "Look, I'm telling you the truth, I'm not here to kill you. If I were, you'd already be dead," she said calmly. The girl was shocked by what she said, and she knew it was true. She even blocked all of her attacks with no sign of exhaustion. She calmed down, and when the death glare had faded, Goku dropped the sword. "And no?" she asked timidly. She now sounded like a normal girl, but before, she sounded like she had a grudge against him. That made her cute. "No, of course not," she said with a big smile that made the girl blush. Now that she looked at him well, she was very attractive. Her smile was unusually cute and adorable. Her voice was equal to her attractive appearance as she emanated an aura that made her want to get closer to hers. Her voice of her resembles peace, kindness and affection. This voice made her calm down, and from her heart came a voice that said that everything will be fine, that he will protect her no matter what. Just by being around her, she felt safe. It's as if she was a guardian angel sworn to protect her. After all, he was the first one she spoke to. But it was so sudden. What is special about this human? Why is his voice so captivating? And most importantly, is he even a human being? She looked into his eyes and was surprised at what she saw. Her eyes were full of heroism and sacrifice. It wasn't just that, no, it also reflected her feelings and experience. She saw sadness, pain, suffering and much more. He reflected on himself, but how did he bear it? How did he experience such a thing? What kept him strong? Why is he so calm in this situation? Just at the moment that she was going to talk about her, she was interrupted by certain people with mechanical suits who launched several missiles that were directed towards her. She gritted her teeth because they not only disturbed her conversation but tried to kill her while she was with her first friend of hers. She raised her hand and created a force field that stopped the missiles, causing them to explode. That surprised the Saiyan. He never thought she could do that. The people in mech suits kept sending out various missiles, but they were cut down by her sword easily. She flew towards them and dodged as the people flew away. They were all sending missiles at the same time as others were shooting at him. After the missiles exploded, she looked back to make sure the human, Goku, was safe. She sighed with relief to see that nothing had happened to her. As she looked back, Goku watched her eyes. They were filled with sadness and despair. She could see it. She was hurt, she was helpless, she was sad, she needed someone to be with her. At that moment, she stopped looking back to concentrate on the fight, where she continued destroying missiles and then launched two cross-shaped slashes that created an energy wave. That defeated most of the mechanical people, except for a white-haired girl. That was very familiar to Goku. He approached her as fast as she could and shot, but it was easily blocked with her hand, so she left her armor and jumped where she was behind. "Goku, Tabiichi-san," Goku said as he got a good look at the white-haired girl. "ITSUKA Goku," she said neutrally, not wanting to show her astonishment. At that moment, without thinking, the long-haired girl launched a wave of energy towards where Goku and Origami were, where they both easily dodged it. Origami jumped towards the black-haired girl, pulling out her sword, starting a close combat where the black-haired girl was winning, where Origami jumped where they both ended up in a clash of swords. Then suddenly a light appeared so bright that Goku had to cover his eyes. Unknown place. After a moment, the light disappeared. When Goku regained his sight, he could see that he was no longer in the city. While looking around, he could notice a woman who seems to be in her 20s. She has disheveled hair and dark eyes. Blues that seems to always be sleepy. "What happened? Where am I?" Goku calmly asked the woman. "Relax, the commander of this ship wants to see you. Could you come with me?" she said neutrally. "Sure, but first, can you introduce yourself?" Goku said with a smile. "Sorry for my rudeness, my name is Ryan Murasum. Nice to meet you," she introduced herself. "I thought she said that she had no manners," she said to herself. "Nice to meet you, my name is ITSUKA Goku," she interrupted him. "I know." That surprised Goku, and he remembered the girl from before. "What happened to the girl? Is she okay with her?" Goku asked. "I'm not good at explaining, the commander will explain everything to you," she replied. After that, they both started walking towards where the commander was, and just before arriving they met a man. The man looks quite young, he has long blonde hair, but Goku hadn't fully seen him because his back was turned. And this one was in a pensive position with his hand on his chin. "We are here," Ryan said, taking him out of her thoughts. "Hello, my name is Kanazuki Kaihei, and I'm the vice commander. I hope we can get along well." The man introduced himself, extending his hand towards Goku to shake hands, in which Goku cheerfully squeezed his hand. Kanazuki, as he shook hands, felt as if he was squeezing steel. He has strong hands for a human. Suspicious, the blonde thought. "Wait, if you're the vice commander, who's the commander?" Goku asked, confused. Kanazuki pointed in a direction, and to his total surprise, the commander was his adoptive sister Kotori. Kotori. "I was really dumbfounded right now. Of all people, a girl is the commander." He didn't expect that, and what's worse is that she's his little sister. "Welcome to Radityscra," he said happily while eating a lollipop. Then, the same girl he had seen a moment ago appeared on the screen, and Goku widened his eyes when he saw her on the screen. She is the girl I met a few minutes ago," he said in a low voice. And Kotori decided to start explaining the situation to Goku. "She is a monster we call Spirit. It doesn't look like one to me," said Goku, crossing his arms, while Kotori ignored what she said. "Whatever, we just lost track of her. In other words, she disappeared," she said, continuing the explanation. However, Goku was not surprised by that. The others were surprised to see that, even Kotori as well as Kanazuki's suspicion increased, since normally, if someone heard that, they would have endless questions. It was strange. It was as if he was experiencing something like that or something more than that. Maybe he has several questions, but he preferred to keep them to himself, the red-haired girl thought, while she shrugged her shoulders and continued explaining. "She is not from this world," Goku whispered. He found those words amusing since he was literally not from this universe. "Second, when she appears, regardless of her will, she destroys everything in a radius of half a mile. In other words, the phenomenon called spacequake is the cause of her appearing here on Earth," he continued, while Goku nodded. Next on the screen appeared the girls in mechanical suits that he had seen a few minutes ago. "They are in the Ast," he said, giving a very important information. "Ast. Is it some kind of food?" he said innocently, since he hadn't had lunch and his stomach was empty. "No, they are an anti-spirit team," he said, almost shouting. Of all the things he could think of, he thought it was food. Kotori took a deep breath to calm herself down. "When a spirit appears, they go to that place and take care of them. In other words, they kill them," she said, making Goku surprised. "Wait, what?" he said as he remembered what he told him. "Have you also come to kill me?" "They will kill her," Kotori replied. "So that's why he gave me that look," Goku thought. "Heard, there is another way to deal with them without the Ast. For that we need you." Goku, she finished explaining, and Goku looked at her. "Me?" he said, confused. "What am I going to do?" "You will be participating in the drills tomorrow. I will leave the administration and paperwork to my subordinates. For now, just go to school as usual," he answered. "Besides, what were you doing there?" she said, because she was worried about her brother's safety. "Yeah, about that, it was just sad. I was looking for you. You said to come, no matter what," Goku answered while silence reigned. After a few seconds, Kotori started laughing, making the Saiyan tilt his head in confusion. "Is there something funny?" I asked, because I didn't see that. "Ha ha ha. Well, I said it, but who knew you were such an idiot to take it seriously?" she said, still laughing. Goku clenched his teeth in frustration. He was thinking of a way to make her pay other than tickling. "I thought of an idea," and smiled. "Anyone would, for her cute little sister. You should be glad that your Ani-chan was worried about you," Goku said sadly. He stopped laughing instantly as his face turned redder than a tomato. "Sorry about that," she said as she looked down, embarrassed that he laughed at the person who was worried about her. This time Goku laughed, and she blushes even more for falling for her tricks. "ITSUKA's house 2 a.m. Ani-chan, can you stop seeing me as your little sister and start seeing me as a woman?" the girl asked timidly. "Of course," she replied. "Thank you, Ani-chan," the girl said as she hugged him, where she gladly returned it. "With me on Jupiter, we'll have distance dates," the girl said cheerfully. "But that's nothing to us, is it?" she continues. "Yes, you're right," she replied. "I love you, Ani-chan." "Me too." Then a tick appeared on the screen and said, "CG. Mode complete." Goku sighed deeply, content. Goku had finished the game that Kotori had given him for the spirit thing. "Well, that was more difficult than I would have thought," said Goku as he lay down on the bed to get some sleep, "but I keep wondering, how is this going to help me with the spirits?" Flashback. Raise in high school. Let's see. The day is the second day of the new period. We have a new teacher in the class, said Ami-sensei very happily. "Good morning, my name is Ryan Murasum. I'll be the physics teacher," she said when. From one moment to the next she began to wobble, a nice cone. She couldn't finish speaking because he had fallen, apparently from lack of sleep. All the students worried about her and went to help her. "Wow, she really knows how to act," Goku thought when he saw that she was now her teacher. "Break time, physics room, Ryan-san," Goku called her. "Yes." She turned to see Goku. "You have good acting skills. Where did you learn them?" She praised her. "Well, it's just natural talent," she said, somewhat embarrassed. "Anyway, why did you become a teacher?" I asked curiously. "There are some advantages to being by your side as a teacher," she answered. Then the black-haired man turned to see his sister, who was eating a lollipop. "So Kotori, what are you doing here? What happened to middle school?" she said as Kotori began to sweat nervously. "You know you have punishments if you skip school," Goku said with a smile as Kotori turned pale. Why, I finished my preparation," she said, stammering because she was afraid of Goku's punishments. "Well, that means you're becoming a good girl," she said with a big smile. Then he walks over to her and pats her on the head, and she's just enjoying hers. Even though she's in commander mode doesn't mean her feelings changed. "So you're going to explain everything, right?" Goku asked. "You'll know when she uses the training software, Ryan." Katori said, and Ryan nodded and started doing something on the computer. When she finished, she clicked on an app and the loading icon appeared. Goku waited for it. The load. Then the screen showed a girl with pink hair and a title that said "Fall in Love My Little Goku." It was a game. A game? He asked, confused, thinking that this would help him. But he plays a game with the spirits. He said to himself. It's not just any game, it's a dating game, he replied as he smiled at the confused, black-haired man. What is a dating game? I ask again. Katori was already prepared for this since the Saiyan was stupid at these things. A dating game is a game played to experience dating in virtual reality that tells you what to do in dating by choosing the right option, he replied. So I just play it, right? Game hours later at ITSUKA House. Goku. You always choose the wrong option, how long will it take? You haven't even finished a route, Katori complained, but Goku was thinking hard, but the game just seems hard for him. It's difficult, I don't even know what to choose, Goku said, sweating, and continued playing. Then flashback rays in high school lunchtime physics lab. It had already been 2 days since Katori had told him to play the game, and he finished it in those 2 days. At first she didn't know what he had to do in the game and always chose the wrong option. But then he remembered what Gohan and Goten did on dates and thus managed to complete the game. However, he still did not understand how this game with the spirits would help him. But right now Goku was remembering his adventures in his past life and when he said goodbye to all his friends and family. But his thoughts were interrupted by someone who was calling out to him. Goku, don't ignore me, Ryan said. I'm sorry, Ryan-san, I was thinking about something, she replied. Okay, look, put this in your ear, she said as she handed him something. Goku did as she told him and put it on. Ryan-san, what is this? I ask. It's a headset, she said bluntly. What is it for? I ask again. It's to communicate, obviously, she answered. Katori entered the room and went to a seat. Come on, let's start the second stage of the training, practice. Like, fighting, Goku thought. In the hallway, Goku was in front of Tammy-sensei, and he felt very sorry for what he had to do with her. Practice on her, he told himself. Goku, what did you want to talk about? He said cheerfully. Goku didn't know what to say and tried to do the same as in the game, but he couldn't, and he had never done this in his life. What are you doubting, Goku? Stop being a coward and attack her, Katori said from the physics room. I don't know what to say, Katori, help me, he whispered, so the Tammy-sensei wouldn't hear him, and Goku said it in a pleading tone. We are training you so that the spirits fall in love with you, right? He said as she reminded him. If you can't even handle a human woman, what are your chances with spirits? We will go to another universe so you can protect it, he heard Shenlong's voice in his head from when he was heading towards this universe. It's fine, let's start with a safe approach and praise her. If things go wrong, we will help you in what you have to do, Katori said, and Goku nodded his head and then looked Tammy-sensei in the eyes with a smile. And he was spreading a charming aura, and it affected her a lot. What's wrong? I asked shyly and a little blushed. Tammy-sensei, the clothes you're wearing are very cute. He complimented her clothes and gave her charming smile. Tammy-sensei's face flushed even more. Why are they? I'm flattered, she said, blushing a little more. Yes, it really looks good. Her hairstyle, her glasses, her shoes, her stockings, and that class record and above. All she said, not knowing what else to say, but she was interrupted by Tammy-sensei. Goku. She interrupted Goku. You're going too far. Naked bald rat, Katori insulted him. Suddenly, Katori felt her nightmare aura through her earpiece. Bad words mean punishment, Goku whispered to Katori. But even if Goku didn't care, he loved to torture her with tickles, and that was a perfect excuse. I mean smart and good brother. I think you misheard. Hey, Katori laughed nervously. Can I say something now? Tammy asked. What should I say? Goku asked nervously. I suppose there is no alternative. Goku, repeat what I say, carefully, Ryan replied, making Goku calm down. Okay, Goku said. Then Ryan said the words while Goku repeated them. To tell the truth, since my second year here, I've started to enjoy coming to school. Lot more, is that so? It's good to know, said Tammy with a tender smile. I have enjoyed it since she has become my teacher. After all, you have been the love of my life, Goku finished, and as soon as he finished, Tammy blushed too much. What are you saying? I stutter. We can't be together like this, but I'm glad to know that you feel that way. I'm serious about this. I want to marry you, said Goku, who then shuddered at what he said. Are you being serious? She asked, and Goku nodded. I have a bad feeling about this, he told himself. Then a pink aura that only he could see appeared. It was really fierce, that made Goku's body tremble in fear. What is this aura? It's really creepy, he thought, scared. And in an instant she was holding Goku's hand while she looked into his eyes with an obsessive face. You do realize that by the time you're old enough to get married, I'll be in my 30s. Right? Are you okay with that? Would you come meet my parents and ask for my hand in marriage? Would you mind being their son-in-law? Once you graduate, would you? She said as she kept talking. I use the most effective lines out there for a 29-year-old single, but maybe they were too effective, Ryan said to Katori. This will become problematic if he gets more involved than necessary. Goku, we have completed the objective, apologize to him and get out of there, Katori said. With a sigh. Sorry, Tammy-sensei. I'm not willing to go that far after all. As soon as she said those words, Goku ran as fast as he could to get away from her while she kept talking to herself. Wow, what an ambitious woman, Katori said. Girls are scary, she repeated to herself as she ran. Katori, don't do that, but she couldn't finish because she bumped into someone. I'm sorry, are you okay? She immediately apologized, and to her surprise, she bumped into a white-haired girl. Tabiachi, and in that instant he remembered the last time he saw her. Flashback, a day ago yesterday, you were there, right? Asked Origami. Yes, how do you know? Answered Goku. I saw you talking to her, he replied. Please don't tell anyone and also forget about the girl, he said seriously. Tell me Tabiichi, what is that girl? Asked Goku acting. A spirit, something I have to take care of, he replied with hate in his voice. Is she a bad person? He asked again. Yes, my parents died 5 years ago because of that spirit, he said. I'm sorry about that, and flashback. I'm fine, she said as Goku reached out his hand to help her, which she gladly accepted, and Goku helped her up. Just in time, Goku. Let's get him involved in our training. You have to hang out with people your age, plus she's not a spirit, but she's an ast. She's definitely not the gossipy type, Katori said to Goku. I guess you're right, said Goku. Okay, now try to congratulate her, Katori said. Hey, Tabiichi, those clothes suit you very well, she said, repeating what he did with Kami-sensei with a smile. It's our uniform, she said without changing the expression on her face. Why are you praising her uniform? Katori said, somewhat annoyed. She just came out. Goku, let me help you, Ryan said. Wait, I know what to say, said Goku to Ryan. Hey, Tabiichi, has someone told you that you're beautiful? Because for me you're the most beautiful girl I've ever met, said Goku, who had remembered the game. Author's note. I'm sorry, but I've never played games of appointments, and I don't know if that appears. Wow, I never thought you'd say something like that. Anyway, well done, Goku, Katori said, congratulating him. But she was jealous and she wished that Goku said those words to her. She blushed deeply, but the expression on her face didn't change. No, you're the first to tell me that, she replied. So, would you like to go out with me? Goku asked, a little nervous. I didn't care. Origami couldn't finish speaking because the spacequake alarm had sounded. I have to go, Origami said as she ran out. But before leaving, he gave Goku a photo of her in her uniform. Goku, it's a spacequake, let's go to the Fraxinus for now, Katori said, and Goku nodded. Is it the girl? Goku asked. Yes, she is the princess's, he answered with a serious tone. Yeah, expect her to show up here at Raisin High School. In the Fraxinus, Goku returned to the Fraxinus and was waiting for the earthquake to pass. So, what's the plan? Goku asked. Katori explained what he had to do. After a few minutes, the spacequake destroyed half of the school building and sports field. Goku called Katori and he nodded. Very good, go Raisin High School. Goku went to school just as the earthquake had ended. The Ast had also arrived, but they were hiding in some trees for a certain reason, and Goku felt their Kai and wondered why they weren't attacking. Consider yourself lucky, Goku. The CR unit is not optimized for indoor combat. And since the princess is inside, the Ast can't interrupt, Katori said cheerfully. While Goku remembers the girl's face, mainly hers, her eyes, she was filled with sadness and despair. He thinks that she was rejected, and Goku naturally wanted to help her. Katori, do you think I can do it? Goku asked that he needed more motivation to do it. Yes, I believe in you. If you have faith in yourself, it's the only way we have to. Subdue the spirits, you. Katori said as Goku followed his words. Talk to her, go on a date and make her fall in love with her, he said, finishing Katori's sentence. Don't worry, Goku, the proud crew of Fraxinus of Radityscra will help you in any situation that arises, he said reassuringly. And Katori starts introducing the members. With 5 marriages and 5 divorces, he is worthy of the title Master of Love. Bad marriage. Kawago. An incubus in the moonlight. Boss. Mikomoto, he brings suffering to all his rivals with his love, the woman who lives at 2 a.m. The nailer. Shiizaki. The man with 100 wives. The dimension breaker. The Katsugawa, the woman whose devotion was sincere and fervent is feared by the law. Deep love. Minowa, I almost lost all my confidence, he said a little discouraged. You'll be fine, they're all very experienced, Ryan said, making Goku regain his confidence since Ryan had helped him before. We have many other experts on hand, don't worry, you can use a continuation even if you lose the game once, Katori said, reassuring him. Then Goku concentrated to know where the girl was. And in a matter of seconds he had already found it in one of hers. There she is, she told herself happily as she ran towards Haya, and when she arrived she opened the classroom door and saw her there. She was doing nothing, looking at the horizon, and Goku thought that she was thinking of something. As soon as Goku entered the room, she turned to see who had entered. When she was looking at him, she instantly blushed. You are the person who blocked my Sandalphon with a finger, she said in shock while she blushed a little more. No, maybe it's your imagination. Goku said, scratching the back of his neck. Meanwhile in the Fraxinus, block Sandalphon with a finger. Anazuki said to himself as his suspicions grew more. But Goku, what are you doing here? She asked, and before Goku could answer she continued. Is it possible you're here to kill me? She said in a sad and low tone. Wait, said Goku, waving his hands as a sign for him to stop. Did not I tell you before? I didn't come to kill you, so you could calm down a bit, she said, making her sad expression go away and brighten. Ah, good, said the girl, who blushed and continued. Who are you, may I ask? She asked with a glint waiting in her eyes. My name is ITSUKA Goku, a pleasure to meet you, she said with her big smile and then clicked on the headset. Katori, am I alright? She whispered. DZZT was the only thing Goku heard. But Katori, damn it, the cameras and the communicator didn't work. What the hell is happening? Katori asked, with this being the second time this had ever happened. Someone was planning to do this for whatever reason. Someone is disturbing the connection. It's not the Ast, it's said one of the crewmen as he stuttered, showing fear in his voice. Who is it? Katori desperately yelled. It's them, he replied. With Goku, Katori called several times, but he stopped insisting when he realized that he was useless. And what is yours? I asked curiously. He said he didn't know what he meant by that. What I want to say is, what's your name? Oh, he said as he sweated. About that I don't have one, he replied as he lowered his gaze. She knew that she needs one to make a conversation, and she comes up with an idea of how to have a name. Hey Goku, she called him. Yes. He answered her call. What do you want to call me? She asked as she blushed. You're going to call yourself MMM, she said as she tried to think of a name. How about I call her Kai Kai? She waits, no. She shouldn't call her that. Then an imaginary light bulb appeared above Goku. How about I call you Toka? Toka? She asked in a happy tone. He seems to like her, he told himself as he smiled. Yes, I chose it from when we met, she said with his big smile. So you like it? I think it's very pretty, she said, blushing a little more. So Toka, can I ask you a question? He said a little more serious. Sure, what is it? What is your goal? Oh, target. I asked with a questioning face. I don't have one, she answered sadly. Well then, why did you appear on Earth? He asked again. Don't know. So, what are you exactly? I don't know either, she answered sadly. At some point in the past, I just showed up. That's all I know. My memories are very vague, and I have no idea what I am. Is that so? That's how it is, as he replied. I came to this world from nothing, and by the time I realized it there were mecha people in the sky, he finished. You mean those people, right? He said, pointing to the air where Ast is, and without warning they immediately fired at them without stopping. Fortunately, both Goku and Toka were protected by Toka's force field. Toka tried to tell Goku to leave so he wouldn't get hurt, but he cut her off before he could say anything. We are having a good conversation now, and with your force field we can continue our conversation, right? He said, and then he gave her a smile. She blushes a little and nods before sitting on the floor together with the black-haired man and continued their conversation. As time passed, track after track, he ran out of ideas and there was only one thing he could do now, and that is. Toka called her, and she turned her attention to Goku with a curious face. Would you like to go out on a date with me? But he asked Origami, is the spirit coming out? Asked the captain of the unit. No, not yet, replied Origami. But we've been shooting for a long time, said the captain. She kept shooting until a part of the building fell, and she revealed the black-haired man who was talking to Toka, but they still couldn't see him well because of the smoke. The captain saw it and was surprised. What is happening? Is the spirit attacking him? Said the captain. Ceasefire, she ordered, worried that he would get hurt. They waited for the dust to clear so they could identify that a person was there. After the powder cleared, Origami saw Goku and got angry, his expressionless face gone and changed by anger. She dropped her weapon and drew the sword from him as she sped towards Goku, trying to save him. With Goku, what's a date? He asked Goku, but before he could speak, Katori interrupted him. Goku, the ass, shouted Katori, who had served the communication. Origami tried to hit Toka, but was blocked by his force field. You. Toka said, but Origami swung his sword again and managed to push Toka hard enough to get her away from Goku. Hey, Tabiichi. Goku said in confusion. Thank God, Origami said, relieved to see Goku alright. You, again. She yelled at her in anger, because she had already bothered her once talking to Goku and she did it again, making her even more angry. Origami still frowning. I won't forgive you for keeping him hostage, she replied with anger in her voice. Goku, on the other hand, he didn't know what to do. He was there trying to think of something. What are you doing, Origami? We haven't been authorized to enter, said the captain through the headset. Sandalp and Toka yelled, stomping on the floor, where a dark aura surrounded her, and next to her appeared a throne from which she drew her sword. Goku, get out of there, we'll use the Fraxinus to pick you up, Katori said. Okay, answered Goku, I accept his decision because he doesn't know what to do and stopping the battle would not be a good idea. Toka swung her sword at Origami, sending out a wave of energy, where before she hit Origami, Goku stepped in front of her to prevent her from getting hurt, shocking the two of them, and when the smoke cleared they could see a Goku with his torn clothes torn apart with his arms in the form of a cross blocking the attack, but he came out without a scratch. That was close, she said quietly as she got back up. Are you alright, Tabiichi? Goku said, turning back to see that he was alright. She was completely shocked and leaving him. She nodded helplessly. Where Goku placed her hand on her head, erasing her memory, leaving her unconscious. And then he went to Toka, but to her surprise, she had already left. After what happened, Goku left the building and was picked up by Fraxinus, who couldn't see anything that happened in the location where they were. In the Fraxinus that was unexpected, said Goku, cleaning the dust from his torn clothes, and then he turned to see Katori, that she had a serious face and was very thoughtful. Hey Katori, what happened with the communication when she was talking with Toka? Goku asked. Katori snapped out of her thoughts without turning to see Goku. Goku, the communication was. She stopped talking when she saw the state of her brother. Gee. Goku, what happened to you? Well. What happened is that Toka launched a wave of energy towards one of the ass that was in front of me, and it hit me, said Goku with a hand behind his neck. Hey, you didn't answer my question, I see, Katori said seriously. Well, what happened was that an error occurred and cut our connection. She finished her lie while she put on a normal face. Is that so? Goku asked, and she nodded. Well, it's fine, she believed her falsely, since she could sense her lying intention. But she decided to ask him later. See you at home, said Goku, who was teleported by Fraxinus to his house, leaving Katori worried. Why did Dem cut off the cameras and communication? Who are they going for, Goku or the princess? If it's Goku, what do they want? These questions flooded her head. This worried him, for the Saiyan's safety. She couldn't lose someone she loves, it's what she fears. Are you worried that Goku could be targeted by Dem? Ryan asked. Yeah, it seems like they've planned something, Katori said. The next day, Ray's in high school. Goku was in the ruins of the school. I wonder where he is now, he asked himself. When they were in that moment, it was fun. It was like when he met Bulma in a negative situation, but still everything turned out okay. He sighed and went to his house while he began to remember those moments looking for the Dragon Balls with Bulma. As he walked, someone was calling him, making him get out of his thoughts. "Don't ignore me," shouted a female voice behind him. "Huh? Toka?" Goku asked. "Of course it's me, Baka," he said, grimacing, then smiled where Goku smiled back. "Come on, take me to that date," she said, very excited. "Sure, but you can't go dressed like that," said Goku, so they wouldn't suspect. "Goku, are you asking me to get naked here?" Toka said, embarrassed. "No, of course not," she said calmly. Then she remembered the photo that Origami had given her, and an idea came to her head. "Why don't you wear something like that?" she said, passing Origami's picture. "Are those clothes okay?" she said, somewhat puzzled. "But why do you have?" she said, tearing out the photo, to then raise her hand, where a glow spread over her entire body, where little by little a school uniform was generated like Goku's, only that of a woman. "Is that okay?" she said with a smile. "Yes, you look very good," said Goku with a thumbs up and a smile that made her blush. "Well, let's go to that date," she said, turning around to go the other way. Goku and Toka had left school so they could have their date, and they had already been walking for a few minutes to head towards the main street that was full of shops and other things. Right now they were in front of a bakery. "Hey, Goku, what's that smell?" Toka said, closing her eyes so she could smell it better. "Smell?" Goku said, somewhat confused. He only sniffed to know what Toka meant, and he could feel the fragrant smell that was in the air. "Look, Toka, that's why," said the Saiyan, pointing to the bakery and waiting for Toka to want to go inside so she can eat. "Ooh," Toka said, looking in that direction. "Toka? NM, what's up? Do you want to come in?" Goku asked, and Toka's fingers trembled as his mouth curved into a snarl. After the miraculous synchronism, Toka's stomach next to Goku's rang, resembling the roar of a bear. "If Goku doesn't want to go in, then I won't go in either," Toka said, wanting to look serious. "That's good, because I really want to go," and said Goku, touching his belly since he hadn't eaten anything since breakfast while he entered the bakery with Toka. "Really? So I don't have any other choice," Toka said very happily as he walked in next to Goku. Meanwhile, hidden in the shadows of the walls, Origami stared at the Saiyan spirit couple talking in front of the bakery, and without changing her expression even an inch, she let out a short sigh. She had gone to the school only to find out that it was closed, and on her return home, she had seen Goku walking with a girl. That alone was an extremely serious situation. Like a bride, she began to follow them in silence. However, there was an even bigger problem than that. That girl. Origami recognized her. "Spirit," she whispered. The non-human thing that Origami's group was supposed to annihilate. She was wearing a uniform and walking next to Goku. "That girl is a spirit. But there are no earthquakes," she told herself as she took out her cell phone, pressing a few buttons to call someone. "I am Sergeant Tabiichi Origami. A0613. Send me an observation device," she said seriously. At the bakery, Katori and Ryan were eating a raspberry dessert while talking about something that seemed very important. "Ah, Queen. If you don't want it, then let me take it," Katori said tenderly. "Okay, go ahead," she said neutrally. Then Katori extended her fork and stuck it into the raspberry on the plate placed in front of Ryan. Then she slowly brought the fork to her mouth, savoring the bittersweet sensation. Yum. "Why don't you like this, Ryan?" I asked curiously. "Isn't it bitter?" she said as she took a sip of her apple tea. Right now both of them were in a bakery on Tengu Avenue. Katori was wearing white ribbons in her high school uniform, while Ryan was wearing a light-colored top and blue jeans. Katori had gone to school as usual, but Katori's school had suffered some damage from the space quake the day before, so it was closed. Somehow, going straight home would be a bit weird, so she decided to call Ryan for a snack. "Oh, this is a perfect opportunity, so tell me," Ryan said as if she remembered something. "What?" she asked, confused. "I'm sorry, it's such a basic question, but Katori, why did you choose him as the negotiator with the spirits?" Hearing Ryan, she frowned. "You won't tell anyone?" "I promise." Seeing this, Katori agreed and replied. Murasame Ryan was a woman who kept her word. "Actually, I'm not related by blood to my brother." Ryan tilted her head slightly. She quickly processed Katori's words and made a pose that she seemed to ask, "What does that